Welcome to the NAIA's May 2021 National Convention. The NAIA's Office of Student Athlete Experience and Development is happy to present this session focused on student athlete health. This session, focused on student athlete health issues, will include 4 sections. First, we will hear from Tucker Bashand about off-season and summer strength training. We will then hear from Sheila Crockett and Dr. Katie Arnold about an annual student-athlete orientation program. Next, we will hear from Jenny Carrillo and Nicole Merzen about cross-campus collaboration. And finally, we will hear from Robert Grime about the creation and funding of a student-athlete fueling station.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Robert Grime and the NAIA for having me a part of this day today. Who am I? I'm the head strength and conditioning coach at Central Methodist University, located in Fayette, Missouri. Right now, I train the football, women's soccer, men's soccer, track and field, men's basketball, women's wrestling, and baseball teams. Before I get into talk to you about off-season program for women's soccer, I'd like to mention the importance of having a strength and conditioning coach on your staff. A huge thing that we do right now is work on physical preparation, getting our athletes bigger and faster and stronger to play up to our level of competition. We improve mobility, flexibility, and durability, increase strength and power, improve agility and quickness, mitigate or lower the risk of injuries for our athletes. The best ability to have as an athlete is availability. If your athletes are not available to play at this time, it does not matter how fast, how strong, or how big they are. Having a certified staff member is something that is super important. It means that there's a certification process to get certified, and there's a process to keep that certification. So for us, we have continuing education credits, which means we're on top of the constant research or the constant new information that's new into the field. Also, you get another coaching figure in an athlete's life. Us as coaches, there's never enough coaches that could be on the floor with our teammates, with our players at any time. Now, training sports teams in the summertime. Big thing I like to do is keeping the same movements and exercises that you have been training all year. I don't want my athlete doing a new exercise when they are not in my weight room or that I can see them doing that exercise. Keep it simple, stupid. So this is something I would like to say in strength and conditioning. Keep everything very simple, and I'll explain more about this later. But the program, there shouldn't be a lot of questions on what's going on. It shouldn't look like a different language to our athletes when they go home and take their summer packet home for the summer. Now, and also understanding the time of the year for that team. So different teams could be on different times of the year depending on when their competition season is. So we got to be aware of what adaptations are we trying to see at that time of the year in the summer. Now, off-season training for women's soccer. At my school right now, I have players from 8 different countries. So again, like I said, I got to keep it very simple. So what's going to help us is pictures and stuff that we've been doing this whole entire semester. Not going to introduce a lot of new things to them. On top of our off-season program, we have 4 different types of programs. We have our bodyweight program, our weight room program, our conditioning program, and our team competition program. The bodyweight program, also known as our no excuse program. You can find time throughout your day to get this done. Now, this is aimed towards last summer when we're during a pandemic. We have athletes that in other countries can't even leave their house, so they're on lockdown. So right now this programming is for them. They can still get all this done depending on what they have, but they could also do different things to challenge themselves, like adding a backpack. You could curl a gallon of water or squat with a backpack on, or anything to make your workouts more challenging to yourself is going to be something that's extra. The weight room program. So there's menu options. It's going to be tough to see, but a lot of this is, there's a lot of different exercises that you can do to get done. So for example, we need to get a squat done that day. It could be a goblet squat, it could be a back squat, it could be a front squat. It all depends on what you have that's readily available to you. So I know what I have in my weight room, but I don't know what another athlete has unless they reach out to me, what they have in their weight room, or what they have in their basement, or wherever they're going to go ahead and train this summer. But here is an outline of, hey, we got to get a squat done that day. What type of squat? Completely up to you. Our conditioning program. So our top right picture that you see in the very top, that is the conditioning program that I hand out. So as you see, there's pictures. There's cones where you start in cone A, cone B. Where do you finish? How many yards you need to travel? How many sets? How many reps? What's my rest time between my reps? What's my rest time between my sets? How many of those I'm going to do throughout the whole entire workout is right there on that paper. Now, a way to track conditioning program to see if our athletes are doing it is this Map My Run app. Now, I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but it's a great way to track their progress or see what they've been doing. So, for example, if I want to see repeat 100s, we see how much we did in a certain amount of time, keep it timed, they can keep their phone on them, see the distance that they traveled, and it all saves that data from every single time that they ran that repeat 100s throughout the whole entire year, the whole entire summer. So as you see to the left, they save a lot of data for you, and I'll explain more about that next in our competition program. So lastly, here's our competition program. Teams are all split up into groups, so our players are split up into different teams. There's a point system created for our athletes. The leaderboard was sent out every single week, so we see what our athletes are doing. Then there's incentives at the end of the day for the team who scores the highest points and for individuals who score the highest points. This promotes leadership, competition, and accountability. As you see, here's our first week, the first 5 columns on the left. That's our first week doing this. Now, as you see on the right side, we had more people participate in that program the next week. That's where our leadership came in. Our leadership came in and stepped up and said, hey, we got soccer to play in 2 months. We at the end of the day, Central Methodist University said we're going to play no matter what. So we got to be able to and ready to get to play. So that's where our leaders stepped up and said, hey, we got more participants now. And then there's incentives at the end of the day. I think they got another shirt, or the athlete who had the highest or most points scored, they then got another t-shirt or something like that we did with gear at the end of the day. That was through the coaching staff as well. This is all very quick and very brief, but if anyone has any information they would like to contact me, please feel free. That is my email address right there if you want to screenshot that or take a picture of that. That is my personal cell phone number. I'm open to text. I'm open to phone calls. Please feel free to reach out. I'm open to give you any types of programs that I have out there that help our teams out in the past, or if you have any questions on how to start a strength and conditioning program or where to go or how do we make it better, I'm open to conversation if you have any types of questions out there. Now we're going to open up for questions. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you again to the NAIA for having me a part of this day. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Hello, my name is Katie Arnold, and I'm the Director of Athletic Training at Cumberland University in Lebanon, Tennessee. Robert asked me to put together a brief presentation regarding our Student Athlete Leadership Day here at CU. Today, we'll go through the purpose of our Leadership Day, the theme that we have for the athletic department for the year, the schedule of Leadership Day, topics that we discuss in Leadership Day, testimonial from student athletes, coaches, faculty, and staff within the institution. According to Forbes, leadership is a process of social influence which maximizes the efforts of others towards the achievement of a goal. Our goal at CU with our Leadership Day is to develop student athletes into men and women that understand the importance of character over championships, providing them with the foundation and expectations to be a successful student athlete at Cumberland University and beyond. Each year, our athletic director comes up with a theme for the athletic department. And this theme, once he comes up with it, he puts it on wristbands and we give it out to everybody that year. Usually the university will adopt our theme as well, and the whole campus will have the wristbands by the time the fall semester's over. But this year's theme was being able to show agility through the year. And so our theme was agility. Next year's theme is resilience. We want to be able to use resilience to recover from prior challenges and respond well to achieve success. This is an overview of our schedule for Leadership Day. We actually have 2 Leadership Days. We have one in the fall for fall athletes since we bring them back early. Then we have one for winter and spring athletes once the fall semester starts and they return to campus. We'll start out with breakfast in the cafeteria provided by the athletic department. Then we'll all move to the gym. There, the president will address all the student athletes and coaches, and he'll give his welcome and then his expectations for the year. Once he does his introduction, then the athletic director will do his introduction, his welcome, his expectations for the year, and then he'll also do an overview of the day's schedule. We have 4 sessions in the morning, then we'll go back to lunch in the cafeteria. After lunch, we'll go to that last session. Then after that session, they'll go do their community service project. The community service project, the coaches find those within the community or even on the campus. Once they find them, they get them approved by the athletic department. The athletic department keeps up with all of them to make sure that we're not sending multiple teams to multiple places. And then they'll do their community service project. They'll come back, eat dinner, and then we'll do physicals. Here's an overview of the topics that we discussed throughout the Leadership Day. One topic is physical health and wellness. This topic we discussed athletic training policies and procedures, drug testing, strength and conditioning policies and procedures, and then nutrition. Another topic that we have in our sessions is expectations and eligibility. This includes both the NAIA and CU expectations. We'll discuss our attendance policy, social media expectations, and then just general expectations of student athletes in the classroom. Another topic that we have is mental health. Our sports psychologist within the exercise and science program, he comes over and discusses this with our student athletes. He talks about what is mental health, understanding how physical, intellectual, spiritual, environmental, and social all play a part in overall mental health. And then he provides them with campus resources as well as community resources should they ever need any mental health help. The last 2 topics that we discuss, we'll have a team building topic, which is what is a team, how to be a good teammate, and then team building activities. And then the last one is diversity. We'll talk about what diversity looks like amongst a team, amongst the campus, within the community, and then also within our country. How do we embrace diversity for unity? These are what some of the student athletes said about our Leadership Day. Sarah Haddock, who's a women's soccer player, said, "Leadership Day to me is creating a family environment that makes everyone feel welcome and at ease." Daniel Holmes, who plays baseball for us, says Leadership Day is important because it sets precedence in the athletic department of what CU Athletics expects of us as student athletes and what we can expect of them. Our coaches had this to say. Hannah Vatican with women's volleyball says, "I think the importance to Leadership Day for our university is that we all start out on the same page. The same information from those who run different departments gets to talk directly to each team, setting the goals, standards, and rules in which the athlete and coaches must work by. No one can come back later and say, I didn't know that this is how this department or expectation was going to be." Karen Martinez with women's tennis says this, "Leadership Day helps the student athletes to understand the power that they have and that people follow their actions. It helps them to understand that they not only represent the tennis team, but the whole university and that their actions will have consequences for their entire team and sometimes even the entire university. It also gives them a foundation to make the right choices to be successful in their college career as a student athlete and hopefully help them become great leaders beyond CU. I wish there was a Leadership Day when I was a student athlete." And last but not least, Coach Hunt with baseball. He says Leadership Day is vital in giving student athletes direction, expectations, and critical information about the upcoming school year. Not only do we talk about and discuss Cumberland University information, but we also discuss topics on life issues to help them grow personally. Matt Espenshade with our faculty in criminal justice said this, "Leadership development in any institution is important, but especially in a university athletic department wherein players, coaches, and administrative staff have already displayed the capacity to lead and have been placed in positions of influence. Harnessing this potential of influence within the university is vital in creating positive momentum throughout the institution to develop the core values, integrity, and work ethic needed to succeed in life. CU's Leadership Day helps coaches and players to be better decision makers by aligning their values with those in the athletic department and institution. More importantly, it creates a shared vision of success and purpose, thus making the athletic and academic priorities more consistent. It also opens channels of communication and builds relationships among participants from different segments of the institution, hence creating a greater sense of loyalty to the team and the classroom. Lastly, it tangibly further develops leadership skills necessary to successfully engage challenges our athletes will face throughout any stage of life, ultimately preparing them to be excellent representatives of our institution. Courtney Vick with the staff and alumni relations and senior director of annual giving says this: athletic leadership days are critical for our student athlete success. I wish all our students attended these sessions because ultimately the athletes are able to hear from resources they may not have otherwise known were available. As a staff member, I was able to engage with other students and share with them the importance of using these resources to their advantage in order for them to thrive as CU student athletes and beyond. Here's a few pictures of our community service. This top one is the baseball team helping move business with different things. It looks like Dunkin' Donuts is moving some things out. This one right here is our staff among the athletic department. We painted the science wing in one of the buildings with the science faculty. This one is our women's volleyball team raking leaves at one of the counseling centers here in town. And this one is the women's soccer team. They went to the senior living center, the pavilion, and played games with the residents of the pavilion. This is me. Here's my contact information if you guys have any questions. I'm actually not at the meeting today. I was unable to attend. However, our assistant athletic director, Sheila Crockett, is there. So you can ask her questions or don't hesitate to reach out and ask me any questions as well. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. This is Jenny Carrillo, the head athletic trainer from Soka University of America.
And Nicole Merzen, the assistant athletic trainer at Soka University of America.
We're here just to talk to you guys real quickly about our involvement with Talkspace as a mental health resource for our student athletes. We signed up with Talkspace in the fall of 2020 as a supplement to on-campus counseling resources. In the past, I had been getting feedback from my student athletes about the limited availability of our on-campus counselor. Some of them just didn't click with the on-campus counselor, and a lot of them had a stigma about being seen going in and out of her office. So Talkspace was a perfect platform for us to utilize for our student athletes. Primarily, the other reason I got involved with that is because when they go on the road, it allows them to have an outlet for anything that's happening while they're traveling for their sport, family drama, team drama, etc. So the pros that we've found in the last year or so with using it is that it does allow the student athlete anytime access. They can log in anywhere they want. There's ability to change therapists at any time. For example, if you log in and you start talking to a therapist and you didn't like the way they responded, you can easily log out and change therapists right then and there. No insurance is needed. We purchased it as a supplement for our student athletes, so they don't pay anything. It is an additional resource to the on-campus counseling, so we still do recommend that the student athletes utilize on-campus counseling if they still want, in addition to Talkspace. It allows road access during travel and international access. So we have a population of international students here at Soka, and with the stay-at-home orders, we have student athletes in Korea and China, etc., that are able to log into Talkspace and utilize a California-based therapist, since that is where we are located as a university. The communication format can be by text or video. Our current package is only for text. We are looking to upgrade to the video and text package starting in the fall. It allows the student athlete to choose any race, gender, nationality of therapist, as well as choosing a specific concentration of a therapist. The response time is within 24 hours from the therapist, and you're able to leave as many messages in the format as you want, and it is anonymous, so there's no peer observance of going in to an on-campus service. The cons that we've come across is that the therapists have recently seemed to have had a turnover, since a lot of the Talkspace format, they are going back to in-person sessions since the COVID numbers are dropping. Some therapists are more responsive and detailed than others. Again, we had limited access depending on our package purchase. So right now the kids can email or text versus the video option. And again, it is anonymous, which means it is not face-to-face. And some of our student athletes request to see and to talk to someone in person. So that's where the video portion of the package moving forward is going to be a big highlight for them. And as far as a feedback, we did send out a anonymous survey for some feedback for this particular convention. And 100% of our student athletes responded by anonymous survey that they would recommend Talkspace to a peer. And a couple of the comments we got back was, my therapist was very understanding and helpful. The online platform made it easy to reach out. It's the ability to have free therapy. And then some of the cons were sometimes the availability of my therapist made there be long periods of time without a response. And it was mostly texting therapy instead of being able to talk live in an actual session. And so moving forward, like I said, we are going to move forward with a video in the future. And the biggest thing to alert your student athletes about is there are different response times depending on the therapist. What I've found is sometimes if you ask the therapist to set a time, let's meet at 9 to 9:30, then they can go back and forth with a student athlete. Some therapists are pretty responsive when you go into the platform and you send an email chain to them. Some are pretty responsive and within that 24 hours, and some do take the 24 hours. So if you guys have any more questions for us moving forward, if you're looking to get Talkspace for your programs, please feel free to reach out to us. My name, phone number, and email, as well as Nicole's. And then I also included our athletic director.
Welcome to Fueling Station 101, a turnkey creation of the low-cost, high-return benefit for student-athlete health and wellness. In order to implement such a program on your campus, we want to gather the head athletic trainer, the campus character liaison, a member of your strength staff, your development staff, dietetics academic department if you have one, or possibly nursing, and a representative from your campus ASA. This summer, the goal of this group is to establish a fueling station for supplementing student-athlete nutritional needs. There's quite a few reasons why we should do this. We're addressing the national increased focus on student-athlete wellness. We want to discourage unhealthy supplement use by providing a healthy alternative. We want to provide student-athletes a low-stress area to interact across teams. We'll create a meeting space if your campus ASA needs one. If there's a stove available, this space could create an opportunity for healthy cooking life skills lessons or small team meals. This affords boosters and business partners an opportunity to give tangible goods in support of your department. And it allows us to explore research opportunities with health-focused academic departments and possibly even receive grant money. The space needs to be a higher traffic, open area in close proximity to the weight room if possible. A few things that should be a focus area include local dairy, a local grocer, and perhaps a drink company. The other benefits of creating such a space is the possibility for student athletes to have non-athletic interaction with their peers. Sometimes it's nice for athletes just to hang out with each other without having to worry about game plans or assignments given to them by their coach. This broadens the chance for a department to have in-kind trade sponsorships. Also, during this post-COVID session, lower-level donors often want to give something tangible to a department, not just a check to be used for discretionary purposes. This allows boosters the chance to give items that would go in the fueling station. Another nice aspect of a fueling station is it benefits all student athletes, not just those on scholarship. This slide shows a layout for such a space. You'll see a lot of preparation area for cereal, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and oatmeal. There's also grab-and-go options like granola bars or fruit. There's also a sport drink or water dispenser. Oftentimes, partnerships with drink companies will provide you with such machinery. Also, a separate cooler for dairy products. The second version that you now see on your screen is for those athletic departments that want to take their fueling station to the next level by adding a kitchen-style preparation counter. Behind the counter would be a sink, a microwave, blenders for smoothies, and a stove oven. Here, the staff could provide workshops for student athletes to learn how to prepare healthy meals. You will also see on the far right white wall space or perhaps a screen for a projector, making this room available for presentations. A few other things to consider if creating a fueling station is providing school color folding tables and folding chairs. This makes for easy cleanup. Again, soft drink companies often provide the dispenser and logoed reusable bottles for the student athletes. Milk companies often want to provide signage and nutrition materials. Chocolate milk, one of the new post-workout recovery drinks, should be individual bottles, while your white milk or silk alternatives might be in gallons, necessary for cereal or oatmeal preparation. There could also be yogurt for smoothies. If a study is arranged with an academic unit through your IRB, it might be possible to get grant money. You could also work with sports information for a special interest media piece, or get a publication out of your efforts. One nice thought is to have your campus ASA provide each business partner who donates to this effort with an autographed photo frame like you see at weddings. If your institution attempts to create a fueling station, please email Robert each month to discuss your successes and your challenges, and he will facilitate a fueling station online discussion group. If you already have a fueling station in place, please also contact Robert and share your template. Watch for this PowerPoint handout and all other campus character liaison presentations within the next week. Thank you. Each of today's presenters have listed their contact information on this slide, should you want to reach out and discuss in depth how you can implement a program similar to the ones presented. You will also receive a one-page handout about each presentation.